corporate for today, and that's on the back of its earnings, and that is eMudhra. Now, we saw a muted quarter that came in for eMudhra in Q1. When you're looking at it in terms of a quarter-on-quarter basis, muted growth. Year-on-year basis, strong growth. But what is the outlook of the company going forward? We do have Venkatraman Srinivasan, Executive Chairman of eMudhra, joining in with us to talk to us about the outlook. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you so much for joining in with us. Let's just start by talking about your revenue. Overall, what you've done this time, quarter-on-quarter basis, it's around 0.1% growth. Year-on-year basis, 59% growth. Last time, in your con call, you had spoken about, your revenue guidance at around 650 to 700 crores. And this time, I believe, you've increased the lower end of the guidance. So what is keeping you positive, or what are you bullish on in terms of drivers for the growth? What are the trends that you're seeing, specifically on the BFSI government side of the business as well?
Yeah. So if you see on the first quarter, we have achieved a revenue of around 150 crore. Generally, if you see the Q1, it is a weaker quarter for the digital signatures and also a little bit weaker quarter for the enterprise solution. Generally, the Q2 is much better. Q4 also will be much better. So in the Q1, if you are able to get 150 crore, 150 into 4 on the, if you just to project that itself can come to 600 crore. Then we are also doing an acquisition. We have announced an acquisition of a company called Cryptas. So that itself is quarterly 25 crore per quarter. So 3-quarter revenue of that is also there. So with this itself, around 675 crore will be possible. So that's where we felt that 700 crore would be achievable. So this is the basis. And on this again, BFSA and government, both sector, the order book position and pipeline is continuously improving. So that's where we feel that this guidance of around 700 crore is an achievable guidance.
Okay. So, just want to understand, obviously, you're talking about that Cryptas acquisition as well. In the last year, you've made other acquisitions on the AI front as well. What is the growth that you've seen in these inorganic growth acquisitions that you've made? So what is the growth in these companies versus what is your core company's growth?
One is, if you see last year, around 36% growth. On that, organic growth was around 18.5%. Balance 17-18% is due to the acquisitive growth. So this is how the combination is there, and this time also this kind of a growth will be there, around half of organic and acquisitive growth.
Okay. And what about margins, sir? What is the expectation there as well? This time, the company has managed to see EBITDA margins of around 23%. It's the similar range that we saw in Q4 as well. What are we expecting over there? And given that you've made these acquisitions, it's expected to have a short-term impact on the margins. Then what is the short-term range?
One will be if you see the Cryptas acquisition, what you announced, it is a little PAT negative, but with the more and more integration and driving the synergy, we have to bring it to positive, which may take maybe 2 to 3 quarters. But at the same time, whatever our product we are selling, the margins are quite good. So that's where on a combination, we hope to maintain the margin, even PAT margin around 16.5%. And EBITDA margin at the current level. So we feel the margin will not decline. It may not immediately dramatically improve also, but at the same level, we will be able to maintain the margin.
Okay. All right. If you could just tell us quickly, you did have some loss to competitors in terms of the digital signature certificate reselling. You did lose some amount of it to competitors. Can you just give us a sense in terms of what kind of pricing competition might you be seeing at this point in time? And what are the competitive dynamics that you're facing in FY26?
Yeah, if you see the digital signature, if you see 2-3 years back, there were only 3 to 4 players. But now other certifying authorities are predominantly for the defense industry, for the Reserve Bank like that. They were not public certifying authority. But now almost some 10 to 12 public certifying authorities have come. And they are all selling in the same market. And at the same time, the digital signature certificate volume has not increased, but it has declined by 20 to 30% because of some of the taxation use cases have been simplified. So,
Mr. Venkatraman, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at that right now. It's a short interaction that we had because